Hello and welcome to another episode of the Chaos Chronicles. I'm Jess and we are back again with Haley.
Hello.
We're back for more Hunger Games.
Yay.
And Haley has a cool version.
Yes, I was so excited about the series that I had to buy my own set, and I found these. I think it's like one of the later releases of the covers, but they're really pretty, so I was very excited.
I think they look really cool. So
I agree.
yeah, good find. Today we are going to be going over chapters, basically the rest of the first part.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 through
9.
5 through 9. Yes. My brain stopped working for half a second. I was like, Before we start, though, make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms. They are linked down below, so go check those out. And let's just dive right on in.
Yeah, let's get into it.
The chapter begins with Katniss getting her legs waxed by Venya, who is a woman with aqua hair and golden tattoos.
Which sounds so cool.
Sounds so fun.
A shimmery tattoo?
Just glowing.
Yeah.
So I envision it just glowing.
Mm-hmm. Or like the gold decals that they put on things.
Yeah.
That's how I picture it. I want one.
It was just fun.
Yeah.
She apologizes after tearing the strips off of her, but she's just so hairy.
That was so funny.
Especially if you listen to that part on Audible,
Mm-hmm.
it's hilarious.
That she's just so hairy.
Because the voice actor also does it in like that high-pitched capital accent thing. It's hilarious.
So is that everyone in the Capitol talks like that? I thought it was just Effie.
I don't know. They mentioned something about the capital accent mostly being like everything ending in a question.
Oh, that's
and
right.
Like higher pitch than normal, like normal people would talk. So maybe that's everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
Katniss wonders why they all speak in such a high pitch and why their mouths barely open and why all of their sentences always sound like a question.
Okay, so
there's
the
our answer. Katniss had already been here for over 3 hours and still hadn't met her stylist because he doesn't come until she's ready. So she had her full body scrubbed, nails trimmed, getting rid of any body hair, etc. Flavius tells her that she's doing very well. They can't stand whiners. Then instructs Venya and Octavia to grease her down. Flavius is a man with curly orange hair and wears purple lipstick. Octavia is a plump woman whose body has been dyed pea green, which is a choice. And Katniss stands completely naked, and the three of them circle her with tweezers to remove any missed bits.
I mean, doesn't that sound like so much fun? Not only did you have to leave, you're about to go be put into this arena where you're all trying to kill each other, and now you also have to be plucked and messed with before all of this happens to you. How miserable.
You have to become like a human being in their eyes.
Yeah, like one of the Capitol members before they off you.
Yeah. Congratulations.
You made it out.
Yay.
Just to die.
Yep. Gosh. Quote, I know I should be embarrassed, but they're so unlike people that I'm no more self-conscious than if a trio of oddly colored birds were pecking around my feet. End quote. And then they all admire their work. Quote, you almost look like a human being now.
Yeah. So out of touch, these people.
So out of touch. It's like, I don't know. They're so brainwashed. It's like you're not even like real.
Yeah.
Like you're in this made up la la land. And I just kind of feel bad for them at that point.
Yeah. I mean, both sets of them, like Katniss and them both said this other thing hardly looks human.
Yeah.
And so like that's just how different they
Mm-hmm.
are. I mean, this lady's literally dyed green.
Yeah, her skin is dyed
Her
pea green.
whole body is
Her
green.
whole body is green.
Yeah. It's a choice.
Better than other colors, I get. Well, maybe not, because green, that makes you look sickly, right? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. And then meanwhile, everyone Katniss knows is back home, like starving just to get a piece of bread,
yeah, you
and they're over
can.
here just dyeing
You're
themselves green.
safe. You're safe at home, starving,
Yeah.
dying of starvation, but safely. It's all safe. So they all laugh, and Katniss forces a smile, saying, "Thank you. They don't need to have a reason to look nice in 12." This wins them over. Of course not, you poor thing. Venya tells her to not worry. Cinna will make her gorgeous. So then they call for Cinna. Quote, they dart out of the room. It's hard to hate my prep team. They're such total idiots. And yet, in an odd way, I know they're sincerely trying to help me. End quote. Which is true. It's
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, a big part of the games is how you look and appear to the people,
yeah.
and so this does give her a better chance
Mm-hmm.
of at least getting sponsors. So,
Absolutely. Yep. It does play a huge role. So Cinna comes in and introduces himself. He looks mostly normal. His hair looks naturally brown, and he wears a black shirt and pants. The only alteration is a metallic gold eyeliner that was applied with a light hand, which I also really appreciate. Like in the vast majority are like dyeing their skin random colors and their hair these very bright colors, and he's just normal.
he's just keeping it simple, a
Yeah.
little gold here and there,
Mm-hmm.
and that's enough for Senna.
Which I can appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
That was like my go-to in high school was a copper eyeliner, and that was it.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've yet to master eyeliner. I can't figure out how people do it.
There was a reason why it was copper and not black.
Yeah.
Because the copper was very forgiving. So if it wasn't like very straight,
Mm-hmm.
I could just like smudge it and it looked awesome.
Yeah.
Versus black, I no. I can't do that. Every time I do it, I just regret it.
Yeah.
So.
I end up just looking like I'm a victim of domestic violence because it looks like I have a black eye, so I can't.
Black everywhere.
Yeah. It's a no.
Well, it's like you get one eye looking good and you're like, wait, that one's thicker than this one. And then
Eye patch. Problem solved.
Sinha analyzes her and compliments her mother's work on her hair, saying that it's beautiful, classic, and almost perfectly in balance with her profile. Cinna is new to the games, and he specifically requested District 12. He then pulls a robe out for her, and they go to sit down. He presses a button on the table, and it opens to reveal their lunch. It's chicken with orange and creamy sauce on rice, green peas, and onions. Rolls are shaped like flowers, and for dessert, there is pudding the color of honey. Pudding the color.
It doesn't sound appetizing to me personally, but I'm not a pudding fan.
I'm trying to think. Is it supposed to be like a vanilla-y or like a butterscotch-y?
Maybe butterscotchy.
Butterscotchy.
Yeah.
Katniss thinks about how she would put this together back home. It would take days and it would still not compare. How strange to live in a place where food appears from a button. She wondered what they all do every day because they're not hunting. They don't gather their food. They just press a button and here it is.
Yeah. She's like, my whole day is literally taken up by trying to put food on the table by the end of it.
Just trying to survive.
Yeah. And they press a button here. What are you doing? What are you doing with your time?
That's a good question, though. Like, what do they do?
What do we do? I guess we work, but
yeah.
Thankfully, I don't have to hunt for my food.
Yeah,
Oh,
don't hunt for food.
yeah.
When she looks back to Cinna, he is looking at her, quote, "How despicable we must seem to you," end quote. She wonders if Cinna can read her mind or if it just shows on her face. Either way, he's not wrong. But regardless, he and Portia, the stylist for PETA, want to dress them in complimentary costumes, and it's customary to reflect the district's industry. So far, we've learned that 11 is agriculture, 4 is fishing, and 3 is factories. And of course, 12 is coal.
Right.
So, coming from 12, they will be in some sort of coal miner's getup. They're usually in some sort of skimpy outfit with headlamps. One year, they were just naked and covered in black powder. But Cinna and Portia think that the coal miners have been overused and want to focus on the coal itself. Coal is burnt. Quote, "You're not afraid of fire, Katniss, are you?" He dresses her in a black unitard covering her from neck to ankle, leather boots laced up to her knees, and a cape of orange, yellow, and red. Cinna plans to light them on fire just before the chariots take off. He assures them that it's just synthetic fire and that they're perfectly safe. Aside from the highlighter, she isn't wearing much for makeup and her hair is up in its usual style. Quote, "I want the audience to recognize you when you're in the arena. Katniss, the girl who is on fire." End quote.
Oh, it's so good. I love that line.
And it's like Cinna's line, and he says it a lot.
Yes, he does.
Which I didn't remember how much he actually said it.
Yeah. I love Cinna. He's one of my favorite characters of the book, who isn't really a main character, but I love him.
And one thing that I do want to like emphasize about Cinna is that he specifically requested District 12. He is such an amazing stylist. He probably got the pick of the litter and he was like, "I'm going to go District 12."
Yeah.
Just something to chew on for now. Cinna is calm and normal, which is also why I like him.
Yeah, he's always just so at peace. He seems to like really know how to handle Katniss because she's a bit of a
She's a
complicated
handful.
person.
Yeah, she's a handful.
Yeah.
She'll keep you busy.
A strong personality, but he's very good at kind of maintaining that. And so
Yes.
I think they're a very good match.
I would agree with that. Yeah. Someone's got to calm her down a little bit.
Yeah.
So Cinna brings her to PETA. They are both brought down to the remake center or the giant stables, whichever you prefer to call it. Katniss asks PETA quietly what he thinks about the fire. His response, quote, "I'll rip your cape off if you'll rip mine off." Katniss agrees, and PETA asks where Haymitch is since he's supposed to be with them. But Katniss points out, quote, "With all that alcohol in him, it's probably not advisable to have him around an open flame." I couldn't not have these punchy little one-liners in here. I couldn't take it out.
They're so funny. I forgot how kind of humorous at least some of the book is.
Especially Katniss is like pretty dang funny.
Yes,
so
she
even
is.
when she's not trying to be,
Yeah.
it's like, okay. The music starts and the doors open to reveal the crowded streets. And it takes about 20 minutes to get to the city center where they welcome the tributes, play the anthem, and escort them to the training center, which is their home or prison, whatever you want to call it, until the games. District 1 gets the crowd roaring. After all, they make luxury items. So there we go. 1 is luxury items for the capital and are always favorites. The chariots go out one by one, and suddenly it's time for Cinna to light the capes on fire. He reminds them, heads high and smile, they will love them. Cinna jumps off and shouts one last idea, but the music drowns him out. Katniss asks what he said, and PETA tells her that he thinks he said to hold hands. Peta takes her right hand and looks to Cinna, who gives them a nod and a thumbs up, and then they're off into the city. The crowd is surprised, and they start to shout District 12. Katniss remembers what Cinna said, and she lifts her chin higher and smiles wider. She waves with her free hand and clutches on to Peta for balance, as he is very steady. Katniss even blows kisses to the crowd, and the crowd goes crazy and throws them flowers and starts shouting their names. Katniss is actually feeling a flicker of hope. There must be one sponsor willing to take her on. And with the extra help, why should she count herself out? She catches a rose, sniffs it, and blows a kiss back into the general direction of where it came from. Once in the city circle, she realizes that she has been squeezing Peta's hand hard. She loosens her grip, but he keeps his grip on her. Quote, "No, don't let go of me, please. I might fall out of this thing." End quote. Katniss says okay and keeps holding on to him. Quote, "But I can't help but feeling strange about the way Cinna has linked us together. It's not really fair to present us as a team and then lock us into the arena to kill each other." End quote. Which is also a really good point.
Yeah, but I'm sure the crowd loves it.
The crowd, oh yeah, of course the crowd loves it.
Cinna knows what he's doing.
He does. I love Cinna.
Yeah.
The 12 chariots filled the loop right up to President Snow's mansion. They stop and the music ends. The president welcomes them, the national anthem plays, and the cameras cut to each tribute, but tends to hold on District 12 before disappearing into the training center. Once the doors are shut, the prep teams are there to praise them. Other tributes around them are giving them dirty looks since they outshowed all of them. Cinna and Portia help them down and remove the capes and headdresses and extinguish them. And then the end of the chapter quote. "I realize I'm still glued to Peta and force my stiff fingers to open. We both massage our hands. Thanks for keeping hold of me. I was getting a little shaky there," says Peta. "It didn't show," I tell him. "I'm sure no one noticed." "I'm sure they didn't notice anything but you. You should wear flames more often," he says. "They suit you." And then he gives me a smile that seems so genuinely sweet, with just the right touch of shyness. That unexpected warmth rushes through me. A warning bell goes off in my head. "Don't be stupid. Peta is planning on how to kill you," I remind myself. "He is luring you in to make you easy prey. The more likable he is, the more deadly he is. Because two can play at this game." I stand on tiptoe and kiss his cheek, right on his bruise.
Oh, I think I was just the first time I read this was so bought into Katniss's mindset of Peta, like
Trying to kill, yeah.
yes, and I was like, yeah, of course he's trying to kill you. Like he's in the Hunger Games too.
Mhm.
And now on the second read through, I'm like, no, I think he might just be a nice person.
Mhm.
Actually,
Yeah, it's because we have Katniss as our narrator, who is so just weary of people in general.
Mhm.
Like, even you can look back to like Madge back home. She's like, "Oh, maybe we actually were friends," and it's like, yeah, you were friends.
She has such a negative outlook on everything and
Mhm.
kind of assumes the worst of most people.
Yeah.
But Peta, one of the good ones.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Which is funny because she can't really accept that, but she was so quick to accept that Cinna was like, okay. And he's from the capital.
I know, he is from the capital.
But they're pretty tight from the get-go, so.
Mhm. Chapter 6. In the training center, there is a tower designed for the tributes and their teams. Each district is given an entire floor. Each floor is the same as the district number. Katniss has only been in an elevator once, and that was in the Justice Building. And this is so fun that she almost asks Effie if they can ride it again. Effie and Haymitch will be overseeing them until they're in the arena. At least with Effie, they will be where they need to be on time. They actually haven't seen Haymitch since he agreed to help them. Effie seems to be in a great mood. They're the first team that she's ever chaperoned that's gotten this level of attention. She has been talking them up all day trying to get them sponsors. She's being mysterious, though, since Haymitch hasn't even bothered to tell her, what their strategies are.
Mm-hmm.
Even still, she has a lot to work with. Katniss sacrificing herself for her sister, and both of them struggled barbarism of their district. Still, people have their reservations since they're from the Coal District, but she told them, quote, if you put enough pressure on coal, it turns to pearls.
I read that. That was so funny.
Good effort.
She's trying so hard.
I love the enthusiasm.
Mm-hmm.
I do love it. And luckily, you're saying this to other people in the Capitol who are like, oh, really?
You're right. It does turn to pearls.
She's like, yes. Oh, Effie was so excited that they gave her good responses, even though she's wrong. There's a chance she meant diamonds, but that is also untrue. In District 1, they can turn graphite to diamonds, but they don't mine graphite. District 13 did up until they were destroyed. Maybe the people she's been telling this to all day don't know, though. Unfortunately, only Haymitch can finalize sponsorship deals. Quote, but don't worry, I'll get him to the table at gunpoint if necessary. Katniss's room is bigger than her entire house back home. The shower has 100 options for water pressure, temperature, soap, shampoo, scents, oils, and massaging sponges.
I dream about this shower.
I need this shower. Where is it?
Send me the Amazon link right now.
I want one. That you can preload with soaps and shampoos.
Yeah. You could just
smells.
stand there and I think it would do the whole job for you.
That sounds amazing.
How relaxing.
I would love that.
I want.
Yes. I would never want to get out ever.
No, I would be a dirty little prune in the shower. Nothing left.
Clean prune.
You're right. A
very clean prune. When you step out to the mat, heaters come on to blow dry your body. Even better. There's even something that untangles her hair for her.
Wow, what a dream.
You mean the 10 minutes I spend brushing this?
Yeah, where I'm like...
Yeah. I would love that so much. That would save me so much effort. She dresses and orders food from a microphone that appears in under a minute. She is walking around the room eating goose liver and puffy bread until Effie calls her for dinner, which is perfect since she is starving. Which goose liver, that's a choice.
Yeah. I was like, is this a capital thing or is this what she's comfortable with? Because that's what she ate at home.
I'm assuming that's what she's comfortable with.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, especially to her, the organs are the best part. Mm-hmm. But
have you ever eaten livers?
I have not. Oh. The closest I've gotten to liver is for 5-ish years. I made my dog's raw food from scratch, which also included liver, different types of liver that I would go between. And it always just smelled. It was the worst smell that there's no way I could ever think about eating it.
Yeah. I will say I've had chicken liver.
Okay.
Pretty good. Okay. Pretty good. Although if I had seen it raw and smelled that, ain't no way I'm touching it.
It was always the last meat that I would put in because I made the mistake one time of starting with it. And I was prepping 90 days of food.
Yeah.
So it would take me 8 hours to prep this food. So imagine raw liver just sitting out for 8 hours. I mean, it was partially frozen, but it has a smell. Yeah. It has a smell. Especially beef liver. It has a really bad smell.
Yeah. And then thinking about everything the liver actually does in the body.
It grosses me out for sure.
No, that's fair. I think that is completely fair.
I mean, Ruby loves it. She goes nuts for
Me and you, girl,
organs.
we'll eat our livers together.
Yeah, you guys can have fun with that. I will pass. Sorry. I'm sure it's delicious. It's like everybody's like, heart is also delicious. And I'm like, I'm sure.
I haven't tried that one. I haven't gotten that brave.
Yeah, it's like one of the most, what is it? One of the most tender.
Oh.
Because it's cardiac muscle. It's not like tissue muscle. It's different. No, thank you. They sit down for dinner, and a silent man in white offers them each a glass of wine. Katniss thinks about turning it down, but when would she have the opportunity to try? So she takes it, sips it, and thinks it could be improved with a few spoonfuls of honey since it's tart and dry, which I feel like is everybody's first reaction to drinking wine.
For sure. Unless it's like a very sweet white wine.
Yeah.
That's definitely what I thought the first time I tried a red wine. I was like, oh, people are enjoying this? People are paying good money for this? Why?
I know. And it's like comical now because I love red wine.
Me too. That's my go-to now.
It's my favorite. But when you first start out, you're like, this is disgusting. Why would anybody drink this?
Yes.
Haymitch joins them just when dinner is served and is cleaned and groomed and is actually like the most sober that she's ever seen him. This was the first time Katniss had actually seen him eat. Maybe he'll actually pull himself together and help them. Cinna and Portia seem to calm the tension between Haymitch and Effie. They are having mushroom soup, bitter greens with tomatoes, rare roast beef slices, noodles in green sauce, cheese, and sweet grapes. The servers are all young in white tunics, are silent, and ensure that the plates and glasses stay full. Katniss stops drinking the wine and switches to water when her head feels foggy. A girl then brings in a cake and sets it ablaze, and then it goes out. Katniss asks what makes it burn, and then she looked up at the girl and realized that she recognized her. She doesn't know her name, but she's seen her. She has dark red hair and porcelain white skin. The girl gives an expression of horror, and Katniss is anxious knowing that there must be some sort of bad memory associated with her. She shakes her head and leaves quickly. Effie snaps to Katniss to not be ridiculous. How could she know an Avox? But this didn't help with her confusion because she's like, what is an Avox?
Yeah, I totally forgot about the Avox in the books.
Because they don't put them in the movies for the first movies.
Yeah.
You're like, that little detail is just gone.
Yeah, I mean, I just assumed they were like, I think they might be there. Yeah, just like maids or
I'm sure
servers.
they're there, but they don't like acknowledge what they are.
They're not ever introduced into the story.
Yeah. Quote, someone who committed a crime, they cut their tongue so she can't speak, says Haymitch. She's probably a traitor of some sort. Not likely you'd know her. End quote. Effie tells her even if she knew her, she isn't to speak to her unless it's an order, but she doesn't actually know her. Like, there's no way you know her.
And she's like, how would you have ever met like one of these traitors? Like, what are you doing to meet someone like that?
Yeah, no.
Katniss is like, oh, well, now that you mention it.
She does, though, and remembers from what Haymitch said, a traitor. But obviously she could not admit that. She starts to agree with them that she doesn't know her when Peeta snapped his fingers. He thought she looked familiar too, and just realized that she looked just like Deli Cartwright. Katniss describes Deli as a pasty-faced, lumpy girl with yellowish hair and looks nothing like the Avox, but she jumps on this. Of course, it must be the hair. Peeta agrees it's something with the eyes too. Everyone relaxes. Good job, Peeta.
Again, he's there to save the day, and I never caught on to any of this that he's just a good person and really does want to like kind of be team members in this.
He does.
And Katniss is like, shoo, away from me.
You just want to kill me.
Yeah.
Go away.
You want to kill me? I'm going to have to kill you. Let's not.
Oh, Katniss. So everyone relaxes, and Cinna tells her how the cake worked, and he had ordered it in her honor. They ate the cake and then went to watch the replay off of the opening ceremonies. And we're back to the book. A few of the other couples make a nice impression, but none of them can hold a candle to us. Even our own party lets out an awe as they show us coming out of the remake center. Whose idea was the hand holding? Asks Hamish. Cinna's, says Portia. Just the perfect touch of rebellion, says Hamish. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Rebellion? I have to think about that one for a moment. But when I remember the other couples standing stiffly apart, never touching or acknowledging each other, as if their fellow tributes did not exist, as if the games had already begun, I know what Hamish means. Presenting ourselves not as adversaries, but as friends has distinguished us as much as the fiery costumes. Tomorrow morning is the first training session. Meet me for breakfast, and I'll tell you exactly how I want you to play it, says Hamish to Peta and me. Now go get some sleep while the grown-ups talk.
Which is so crazy that, like, from the beginning, everyone is getting her and Peta to be team members, to seem like they're a united front.
Yeah.
All of this, especially knowing how the first book ends.
Right.
And, like, it was so perfectly set up for it to work out that way.
I know.
So it's
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm seeing all of this in a whole new light after rereading it, after reading all of them.
Mm.
And we will get you to that point.
I'm so excited. It has been very hard for me to not pick up the last book and just like flip through the pages a couple of times to just see what's going on, but I can't do that.
A lot of heartbreak.
Tears.
a lot of tears were had. I've never been a crier in books. I was bawling my eyes out.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good. I am a crier, so I hope I can still read the words.
You might have to switch to the audiobook.
Yeah. While my pages are drying, I'll listen on audio.
The two of them head to their rooms. Once they're at Katniss's room, Peta leans against the frame and brings up the Deli Cartwright lookalike. Katniss really wanted to tell him the truth. He did cover for her after all, and she wants to tell someone about her to figure out her story. She really wanted to tell Gale, but she'll likely never see him again. If she tells Peta, maybe he would believe she sees him as a friend. Peta picks up on her hesitation and asks if she's been on the roof. Cinna showed him earlier. You can see everything, but it's a little loud from the wind. Which makes me wonder, what did Cinna tell him?
Yeah. Cinna is like in the background doing something.
He's doing way more.
He requests 12. Mm-hmm. He sets them on fire, not to kill them. Let's make that known.
Yeah.
He tells them to hold hands, which then Hamish points out is an act of rebellion.
Yep.
In the movie, anyways, he's the one that pins the Mockingjay to her.
Katniss, yeah.
Yeah. Like, there's so many things. Cinna, what are you up to?
I think Cinna plays a bigger role than I ever thought he did.
I agree. Yeah.
He's just out here just doing who knows what. Like, what did you say to Peta? I need to know.
Yeah. Is he even from the Capitol? He doesn't look like the Capitol people. But
he doesn't
he's
act
from
like
13.
them either.
Anyways. I don't even know
I
if
actually
13
don't know.
I don't actually know if 13 exists. Still, I can't really remember.
It's blown up. Like, they blew it all up. It's basically just rubble.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So they're on top of the roof, and Peta tells her that they let tributes come up here because they have an electric field that would throw you back on the roof if you tried to jump. He also tells her that they might be watching them now, and then leads her to the garden. While pretending to look closely at flowers, Katniss whispers to Peta that she was in the woods hunting with Gale. The birds all quieted, and then they saw this girl. There was a boy with her, and their clothes were torn, had circles under their eyes, and they were running like their lives depended on it. A hovercraft appeared, dropped a net, and grabbed the girl. They shot a spear at the boy and hauled him up too, but she is certain that he was dead. Then they were gone. She tells him she doesn't think that they saw them, but that was a lie. Before the hovercraft appeared, the girl locked eyes with her and called for help, but neither of them did anything. Katniss shivered, and Peeta took off his jacket and put it on her shoulders. Katniss believes that they came from the capital because they look like it. She isn't sure where they're going since District 12 is pretty much it, aside from the ruins of District 13 and the smolder left there from toxic bombs. She also doesn't know why they would leave. Everything they need is here, so why would they rebel? Peeta blurts out that he'd leave, looks around nervously because he was loud, and then laughs that he'd go home now if they'd let him. But their food is incredible. He's covering again to make their conversation sound more like scared tributes and not someone questioning the capital. Peeta suggests that they go in because it's chilly, and then asks if Gale was the one who took her sister away at the reaping. He doesn't know him, but he hears the girls talk about him a lot. He actually thought that they were cousins since they look so much alike. He then asks if he came to say goodbye to her. She says yes, and also that his father came and brought her cookies. Peeta is surprised, but knows that he likes her and her sister and is sure he wished that he had girls instead of boys. He also knew her mother when they were kids since they grew up in town. They make it back to Katniss's door, and she gives him back his jacket and says goodnight. When she opens her door, she sees the red-headed girl. She wants to apologize, but stops herself since she isn't supposed to talk to them unless it's an order. So she apologizes for the clothes left on the floor and asks if she can take them to Cinna. She avoids making eye contact with Katniss, nods, and leaves. And then our little quote to end off this chapter. I'd set out to tell her I was sorry about dinner, but I know that my apology runs deeper. That I'm ashamed I never tried to help her in the woods. That I let the capital kill that boy and mutilate her without lifting a finger, just like I was watching the games. I kick off my shoes and climb under the covers in my clothes. The shivering hasn't stopped. Perhaps the girl doesn't even remember me, but I know she does. You don't forget the face of the person who was your last hope. I pull the covers up over my head as if this will protect me from the red-headed girl who can't speak. But I can feel her eyes staring at me, piercing through the walls and doors and bedding. I wonder if she'll enjoy watching me die.
Whew.
That was deep.
Yeah, getting dark.
We are getting darker with every single chapter.
Yeah. I also, whenever I read about the girl and the guy who are escaping,
Yeah.
my thought was Katniss is probably the only tribute who's seen somebody get killed. And I feel like that already gives her a leg up.
Yeah. Yeah. First dead body is always shocking.
Yeah. And not even like seeing a dead body, like
seeing someone get killed.
Yeah. And it's like with an arrow too, like
very traumatic way.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that wasn't a peaceful way to go.
No.
No.
I think the only thing else that I had was about is it Avex or Avox?
Avox.
The Avox. Is that in the movie, like you don't see them. And I feel like they kind of sugar-coated the government a little bit in the movie versus in the book, like they literally cut their tongues out.
Yeah.
We see them cut their tongues out and then also kill someone for trying to run away from them.
Yeah.
Like bad people. These are bad people.
Yeah, they're not this wonderful picture that is painted by the movie.
Yeah. And like there's so much whimsy in the movie. Like I loved when they got to the Capitol. I was like, this place is fun. They have good food. It's like high technology and
everybody's so bubbly.
Yeah.
I feel like that would get annoying though.
Oh,
But
yeah, for sure.
yeah, it's a lot darker than the movie
Hmm.
portrays it as, for sure.
Yeah.
I think they kind of had to, though, to make like a big contrast for the movie.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
And also, how much detail are you going to put into one movie, too? Because they
I
only had so.
know.
I'm saying I would sit and watch a 12-hour movie, but
Just give me a show.
just give
I
me a show. Yeah.
put in every detail exactly as it's written,
Hmm.
and I want a show.
I would love that. Let's do it. If only. On to chapter 7.
On to chapter 7.
Katniss had disturbing dreams all night of her family, the Hunger Games, and then waking up to her father running from the mine explosion. It is morning. Katniss gets out of bed, gets ready with the outfit laid out for her, and heads to the dining room in hopes for food. There's a whole spread out, and she loads her plate and sits down. She even makes sure to get more hot chocolate. It's a must. Katniss thinks about her mother and Prim, wondering what they'll be doing at home. Haymitch and Peeta come in. Katniss is irritated that Peeta is wearing the same outfit as her. They both fill up their plate and sit down. Katniss wants to talk to Cinna about the whole twins act because it's going to blow up in their faces the moment the games begin. But who is she to criticize his choices? For 3 days, the tributes will all practice together. The last afternoon, they will go to the game makers to perform in private. Katniss is nervous thinking about meeting the other tributes. Haymitch asks if they want to be coached separately or together. Some want to be trained separately to hide a secret skill. But Peeta says he doesn't have any secret skills, and he already knows Katniss's because he's eaten enough of her squirrels. And she hits them in the eye every single time. The butcher says that she does the same with rabbits and can even take deer down. Katniss is shocked. One, he noticed her, and two, he's talking her up. Peeta is just helping her so Haymitch knows what she's actually capable of. Katniss doesn't like this, though, and says that she's seen him in the market and can lift a 100-pound bag of flour. That's not nothing. He can also wrestle and came in second last year. If he is in hand-to-hand combat, he would at least stand a chance. If she were to get jumped, she would be dead. And another book quote. But you won't. You'll be living up in a tree somewhere, eating raw squirrels and picking people off with arrows. You know what my mother said to me when she came to say goodbye? As if to cheer me up, she says maybe District 12 will finally have a winner. Then I realized she didn't mean me. She meant you, bursts out Peeta. Oh, she meant you, I say with a wave of dismissal. She said she's a survivor, that one. She is, says Peeta. That pulls me up short. Did his mother really say that about me? Did she rate me over her son? I see the pain in Peeta's eyes, and I know that he isn't lying. Suddenly, I'm behind the bakery and can feel the chill of the rain running down my back, the hollowness in my belly. I sound 11 years old when I speak, but only because someone helped me. Peeta's eyes flickered down to the roll in my hand, and I know he remembers that day too, but he just shrugs. People will help you in the arena. They'll be tripping over each other to sponsor you. No more than you, I say. Peeta rolls his eyes at Haymitch. She has no idea the effect she can have. He runs his fingernail along the wood grain in the table, refusing to look at me. What on earth does he mean? People help me? When we were dying of starvation, no one helped me. No one except Peeta. Once I had something to barter with, things changed. I'm a tough trader, or am I? What effect do I have? That I'm weak and needy? Is he suggesting that I got good deals because people pitied me? I try to think if this is true. Perhaps some of the merchants were a little generous in their trades, but I always attributed that to their long-standing relationship with my father. Besides, my game is first class. No one pitied me. I glower at the roll. Sure, he meant to insult me. She just really gets in her head and just
She's so
goes.
negative. Yeah. Like towards herself.
Yeah, there's no stopping it either. It's just a downward spiral.
Yeah. She's like, oh, he's being nice to me? Why is he being nice to me? People aren't nice to me. Why would they want to be
No.
nice to me?
Yeah. This has to be an insult. He
Yeah.
is insulting me.
Oh, he's pitying me?
Yeah. Katniss, let's take a breath.
Yeah. That is also what I had like highlighted in this chapter is
That's
the
funny.
fact that his own mother
I know
said that.
I will use how Katniss describes her. She is a witch.
Yeah, she's not a good character, but still, over her own son.
How horrible do you have to do you even like having children? Like what?
I don't think so.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, that's an inside thought, ma'am. Don't say that.
Especially to your son who just got raped, who already knows he's probably going to die.
Yeah.
Especially like, I don't know, say that you're in Peta's shoes. You just watch Katniss, this girl who you know is a survivalist, basically,
Mhm.
takes down these like wild game, brings them in, like, and then your name gets drawn. You're like, well, that's it for me.
But maybe District 12 will have a survivor. She's a survivor.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, she?
She.
Not me.
She? How dare you? Like, what is wrong? I don't understand.
I mean, he was probably thinking it too, but don't say that.
Don't say that to your son.
Yeah.
Just be like, no, you can do it.
Yeah.
Even though in my head, I'm like, there's no way you can.
There's literally no shot, Peta. I'm so sorry.
Gosh. So sad.
Mm-hmm.
So horrible. Haymitch points out that there is no guarantee that there will be a bow, but make sure to show them in private sessions. But until then, don't touch any bows. He also tells Peta that he can't underestimate strength in the arena, so don't reveal that in front of the other tributes. Katniss knows a few basic snares that could be useful in the arena. When in the groups, try to learn something new, like using spears, mace, how to tie knots. They both agree. A final order is when in public, they need to be seen next to each other every minute, and this is not open for discussion. They leave, and Katniss slams her door so it can be heard down the hall. I sit on the bed, hating Haymitch, hating Peta, hating myself for mentioning that day long ago in the rain. It's such a joke. Peta and I going along, pretending to be friends, talking up each other's strengths, insisting that the other takes credit for their abilities, because in fact, at some point, we're going to have to knock it off and accept that we're bitter adversaries, which I'd be prepared to do right now if it wasn't for Haymitch's stupid instruction that we stick together in training. It's my own fault, I guess, for telling him he didn't have to coach us separately. But that didn't mean that I wanted to do everything with Peta, who, by the way, clearly doesn't want to be partnering up with me either. I hear Peta's voice in my head. She has no idea the effect she can have. Obviously meant to demean me, right? A tiny part, but a tiny part of me wonders if this was a compliment, that he meant I was appealing in some way. It's weird how much he's noticed me, like the attention he's paid to my hunting. And apparently, I have not been as oblivious to him as I imagined either. The flower, the wrestling, have I kept track of the boy with the bread?
I actually don't. I read that part, but I didn't catch on to that one even when I did the second read through. That she was like, "Wait, why do I know so much about Peta?"
Mm-hmm. And that's why I included that little tidbit, because we have the typical Katniss spiral, but now she's like starting to be like, "But is it this way? Like, was it actually meant to not be an insult?
Yeah.
What?"
And then she's like, "No, but that's ridiculous.
No, that's crazy." But she has kept track of the boy with the bread.
Yeah. And the dandelions.
And the dandelions. Oh. Effie escorts Peta and Katniss to the training rooms. They seem to be the last to arrive, even though they're still early. Everyone's wearing their district number pinned to their shirt, and only Katniss and Peeta appear to be dressed alike. The head trainer explains their training schedule. There will be experts in different stations, and the tributes are free to go between stations. The tributes aren't allowed to engage in combat exercises with other tributes and must ask an assistant if they need a partner to practice with. While they're listing the stations, Katniss looks around and notices that almost all of the boys and half the girls are bigger than her, even though many haven't been fed properly ever. Katniss might be smaller, but due to her family's resourcefulness, she is strong, whereas a lot of them are thin and have hollow eyes. The only ones that look to be strong come from the wealthier districts, the ones who have been trained and fed to volunteer for this. Generally, these are districts 1, 2, and 4. It's technically against the rules to train tributes before getting to the capital, but it still happens. District 12 calls these the career tributes, or just careers, and the winner will likely be one of them. Katniss feels any advantage she had is gone now, since each career has 50 to 100 pounds on her. So Katniss, even though we all picture Jennifer Lawrence, let's not picture Jennifer Lawrence for a second.
Yeah.
She's going to be this like short, very petite little girl.
Yeah. Which it doesn't make sense for her to be like this like strong female character.
Yeah.
Coming from District 12 where she literally went to bed starving.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, love Jennifer Lawrence, but
love Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah. Nothing wrong. I still love her as Katniss. So
me too.
She makes like the perfect Katniss.
And I think I didn't really catch on that most of the districts were poor. I was under the assumption that it was just 12 and 11 and the other ones were like pretty okay. But her description is like, no, we're all suffering.
They're all suffering, and it's generally like 1 and 2 are treated better, but what does that even mean?
Yeah. What is better?
They're still district.
Yeah.
Like, which is some sort of slur, basically.
Yeah.
Peeta asks where to start, and they decide on knot tying. When the instructor realizes that she knows some snares, he teaches them a trap that can leave a human dangling by their foot from a tree. They move on to camouflage, and Peeta seems to enjoy the station. He explains that he decorates the cakes in the bakery. Katniss had seen them in the window, but had never been able to afford one. She looks at his work, wondering how he knows the details of the shadows since he probably hasn't ever been beyond the fence. Quote, somehow the whole thing, his skills, those inaccessible cakes, the price of the camouflage expert, it's annoying. It annoys me. It's lovely, only if you can frost someone to death, I say. Don't be so superior. You can never tell what you'll find in the arena. Say it's actually a gigantic cake, begins Peeta. Say we move on, I break in. End quote.
Poor Peeta. He's like, I think I finally found something I'm good at. And she's like, what do you do, frost him to death?
Yeah.
He's like, can I just have this one thing, please?
I'm trying. And then he's trying to make a joke out of it. She's like, no, shut up. We're done.
Denied.
We are done. Over the next 3 days, they get through the stations. They learn how to start fires, throw knives, and make shelter. Even though it was against Haymitch's orders, Peeta did great in hand-to-hand combat. They do stay clear of archery and weightlifting, though, to keep those for the private sessions. The game makers did show up the first day, about 20 men and women in deep purple robes sitting in the stands that surround the gymnasium. Some wander, some jot down notes, some eat their endless banquet, or even ignore everyone. Katniss does notice that they seem to be keeping an eye on them, and even catches several watching her. They eat lunch in the dining room, and is arranged for a serve yourself. The career tributes generally gather around one table, and seem to show that they don't fear each other and the rest are beneath them. Most of the tributes sit alone, though. Her and Peeta sit together, and Katniss tries to keep a conversation going. It's not easy, though, to figure out what to talk about. Both home and their current situation is unbearable. One of the days, Peeta points out to Katniss that they make sure to include each type from each district, the bread, the little rolls. There are fish-shaped loaves that have a green tint from the seaweed from District 4. There is a crescent moon roll with seeds from District 11. Katniss then tells him about the time that she was chased by a bear. Quote, Peeta laughs and asks questions right on cue. He's much better at this than I am. End quote. On the second day of training, Peeta whispers to Katniss that he thinks they have a shadow. And that's Rue.
Oh, I love Rue so much.
She's so sweet. I'm not ready.
No.
And that's all I can say.
No.
I'm not ready. She reminds Katniss of Prim. Rue might be 12, but she looks only about 10. Quote, she has bright, dark eyes and satiny brown skin and stands tilted up on her toes with her arms slightly extended to her sides as if ready to take wing at the slightest sound. It's impossible not to think of a bird. You have a cat.
Yes. Hello. Oh.
He likes using the mic.
I can move this.
He's like, that is my spot now. Thanks. When Peeta tells Katniss her name, she thinks of Prim. Primrose, Rue, they're both flowers that grow in the meadow.
Another flower name.
Another flower name. And I believe I looked it up, so at the end of this chapter, I'll let you know. She has a hard time ignoring the child, but there's nothing really to do. She is clever with plants, a fast climber, and has good aim. Quote, she can hit the target every time with a slingshot, but what is a slingshot against a 220-pound male with a sword? End quote. During breakfast and dinner each day, both Effie and Haymitch want to know all the details of the day. They are both determined to whip the two of them into shape and give them direction. Quote, when we finally escape to bed on the second night, Peeta mumbles, someone ought to get Haymitch a drink. I make a sound that is somewhere between a snort and a laugh, then I catch myself. It's messing with my mind too much, trying to keep straight when we're supposedly friends and when we're not. At least when we get into the arena, I'll know where we stand. Don't let's pretend when there's no one around. All right, Katniss, he says tiredly. After that, we only talk in front of people. End quote. Katniss.
She broke his spirit.
I know. Poor Kaya's probably like, I think we might actually like be becoming like legitimate friends.
Yeah. And she's like, stop. Leave me alone.
You gotta stop pretending about this.
Yeah.
He's just so defeated.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
And like, imagine, I mean, he probably just really wants the comfort of the only other person who knows what he's going through.
Yeah.
And she's like, absolutely not.
No, you're on your own, dude.
Yeah.
You clearly want me dead. So
yes.
I guess same.
Of everything that Peeta has done to make her think this.
I know. Oh, she really just spirals.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the third day, they start private sessions with the game makers. They go district by district, so Katniss and Peeta are last, and no one comes back, so the room just slowly empties. Quote, we sit in silence until they summon Peeta. He rises. Remember what Haymitch said about being sure to throw the weights. The words come out of my mouth without permission. Thanks. I will, he says. You shoot straight. I nod. I don't know why I said anything at all. Although, if I'm going to lose, I'd rather Peeta win than the others. Better for our district, for my mother and Prim. End quote. Eventually, it's Katniss's turn. When she enters, she immediately knows that she's in trouble. The game makers had been there all day and are tired, had too much wine, and want to go home. She walked to the archery station, though, and set up her human silhouette bullseye. When she pulls the bow back, she can feel the difference. The string is tighter and the bow is more rigid. She missed the dummy by a few inches. She loads up and shoots until she is comfortable with the weapon. She heads back to the dummy and shoots it in the heart. She then shoots ropes that are connected to the sandbags for boxing and shoots them down. She was satisfied that this would prove to them that she's an excellent shooter, but when she turns, only a few are nodding in approval. Most of them are too distracted by a pig that just arrived at their table. Did you think I wouldn't pull up the book?
You had to. You had to for this one.
There's no way that I couldn't, especially it's the end of the chapter too.
Yeah,
Like,
perfect timing.
perfect timing. Suddenly, I am furious that with my life on the line, they don't even have the decency to pay attention to me, that I'm being upstaged by a dead pig. My heart starts to pound. I can feel my face burning. Without thinking, I pull an arrow from my quiver and send it straight at the game maker's table. I hear shouts of alarm as people stumble back. The arrow skewers the apple in the pig's mouth and pins it to the wall behind it. Everyone stares at me in disbelief. Thank you for your consideration, I say, then give a slight bow and walk straight towards the exit without being dismissed.
Good for Katniss.
Good job, Katniss.
Good for Katniss. That is like my favorite, one of my favorite parts of the whole book.
You texted me when you reached that part. Yes. I was like, oh, that's one of the most iconic parts of this whole movie, book, whatever.
Yes. Oh, Katniss. A very bold thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
that could have either gone really well or really like received really well or received really poorly.
Yeah. In any other scenario, if she weren't a tribute, Homegirl would have been an Avox. She's getting her tongue cut out.
That's like best case scenario.
True. If she's alive.
Yeah. They might just be like, no. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Ugh. I did add both Rue and bird here at the end because Rue was also described as being like a bird. So Rue, symbolism for Rue is regret, sorrow, and repentance. And for bird is freedom, transformation, and hope, which is so fitting and it's so sad.
I know. Oh, I think I got a little teary-eyed when they introduced Rue for the first time because like she's so young, she's so innocent. Oh,
it's so sad. Chapter 8. When Katniss exits, she flings the bow to one side and the quiver to the other. There are a few Avoxes who she passes that are gasping. Katniss gets in the elevator and makes it to their floor before the tears start. She runs to her room and starts to sob, thinking that she's lost her one chance to make a good impression. But what would they do to her now? Would they arrest her, execute her, turn her into an Avox? She just got so angry that she was being ignored that she couldn't help it. She wasn't trying to kill one of them. But what does that matter anyway? She was never going to win. Maybe they could make her family suffer because of what she did. Maybe she should have stayed and apologized or laughed like it was a joke, but she didn't. Haymitch and Effie came to her door, but Katniss yelled for them to go away, which eventually they did. Time goes by. She expected them to come after her, but it seems unlikely now. They, like the Capitol. They do still need a tribute, and if they want to punish her, they'll do it publicly. They'll probably ensure that she doesn't get a bow now to defend herself. And they'll more than likely give her such a terrible score that no one will sponsor her. No one aside from the game makers can see what happens in the sessions, so they will publicly give her a score for this. Now, these scores are for each player, and the scores are between 1 and 12 is unattainably high. It's not a guarantee that the person will win, but it shows the potential in the tributes. Often, the high scores can get them killed immediately. A few years back, a boy won that received a 3. Katniss was hoping for a 6 or a 7, but is sure that she'll have the lowest score of everyone now. Everyone is at dinner waiting for Katniss. Even Cinna and Portia are there. They make small talk, and eventually Haymitch interrupts and asks how bad she did today. Before she can respond, Peeta tells them that he doesn't know if it mattered at all. When he showed up, no one looked at him. They were singing some song. He just threw some heavy weights around until they told him that he could go. Back to the book. And you, sweetheart, says Haymitch. Somehow, Haymitch calling me sweetheart ticks me off enough that I'm at least able to speak. I shot an arrow at the game makers. Everyone stops eating. You what? The horror in Effie's voice confirms my worst suspicions. I shot an arrow at them. Not exactly at them, in their direction. It's like Peeta said. I was shooting and they were ignoring me, and I just lost my head, so I shot an apple out of their stupid roast pig's mouth, I say defiantly. And what did they say? Says Cinna carefully. Nothing. Or I don't know. I walked out after that, I say. Without being dismissed, gasps Effie. I dismissed myself, I say. I remember how I promised Prim that I really would try to win, and I feel like a ton of coal has dropped on me. Well, that's that, says Haymitch. Then he butters a roll. Do you think they'll arrest me? I ask. Doubt it. Be a pain to replace you at this stage, says Haymitch. What about my family? I say. Will they punish them? Don't think so. Wouldn't make much sense. See, they'd have to reveal what happened in the training center for it to have a worthwhile effect on the population. People would need to know what you did, but they can't since it's secret, so it'd be a waste of an effort, says Haymitch. More likely, they'll make your life hell in the arena. Well, they've already promised to do that to us anyways, says Peeta. Very true, says Haymitch. And I realize the impossible has happened. They have actually cheered me up. Haymitch picks up a pork chop with his fingers, which makes Effie frown, and he dunks it in his wine. He rips off a hunk of meat and starts to chuckle. What were their faces like?
He's so entertained.
I love Haymitch so much. He's probably like so proud of her in this moment too. Yeah. He's like, keep going, please. I want all the details.
Like, that was really dumb, but tell me every detail.
Side note, Bear is so comfy on Haley's lap right now.
I know. I'm obsessed. He looks so cute.
So if you guys aren't watching, you're missing out because he looks so cozy.
I know.
To continue our book quote here, I can feel the edges of my mouth tilting up, shocked, terrified, ridiculous, some of them. An image pops into my mind. One man tripped backwards into a bowl of punch. Haymitch guffaws, and we all laugh except Effie, although even she is suppressing a smile. Well, it serves them right. It's their job to pay attention to you. And just because you come from District 12 is no excuse to ignore you. Then her eyes dart around as if she said something totally outrageous. I'm sorry, but that's what I think, she says to no one in particular. I'll get a very bad score, I say. Scores only matter if they're very good. No one pays much attention to the bad or mediocre ones. For all they know, you could be hiding your talent to get a low score on purpose. People use that strategy, says Portia. I hope that's how people interpret the 4 I'll probably get, says Peeta. If that, really, is anything less impressive than watching a person pick up a heavy ball and throw it a couple of yards. One almost landed on my foot. I grinned at him and realized that I'm starving. I cut off a piece of pork, dunked it in the mashed potatoes, and started eating. It's okay. My family is safe, and if they're safe, no real harm has been done. After dinner, everybody goes to the couch and waits for the scores to be announced. The careers get between an 8 to 10, which is totally normal, and most of the rest average a 5. A surprise was little Rue, who got a 7.
Yay, Rue.
She must have been impressive. PETA gets an 8. Someone had to have been paying some attention to him. Katniss comes up and they flash an 11 on the screen. Effie squeals and everyone else is cheering and congratulating her. This must be a mistake, though. Quote, guess they liked your temper, he says. They've got a show to put on. They need some players with some heat. End quote. Peeta and Katniss awkwardly congratulate each other, and then they go to bed. When she wakes, she remembers that it's Sunday and wondering about home and if Gale is in the woods yet. They usually devoted this day to stocking up for the week by hunting, gathering, and then trading. They can hunt alone, but do better together. She had struggled by herself for about 6 months before she saw Gale in the woods. She was out gathering food and had shot a squirrel. She was headed back when she came across a dead rabbit in a twitch-up snare. Close by was another. She got closer to examine the snare, and someone called out, quote, that's dangerous, end quote. Gale was only 14 at the time, but he was over 6 feet tall. He had also lost his father in the same explosion that her father was in. He asked her name and then tells her, quote, well, Catnip, stealing's punishable by death, or hadn't you heard? End quote. Katniss corrected him and says that she isn't stealing anything. When he asks about the squirrel, she tells him that she shot it and shows him her father's bow. He asks to look at it. Quote, I handed it over. Just remember, stealing's punishable by death. End quote. And that was the first time that she saw him smile, but it was several more months before she would smile back at him. They talked about hunting and they traded knowledge for a bow. Eventually, they just started dividing the work and dividing the spoils to ensure that both families had food. I thought that it was important to include that little back and forth there because it just shows that even though Gale is like her best friend, she still, in the beginning, did not trust him at all.
Said it took months for her to even smile at him.
Yeah.
So it's not just PETA.
No.
She is skeptical of everyone equally.
Absolutely everybody. Yeah. And our end of chapter quote here. Being out in the woods with Gale, sometimes I was actually happy. I call him my friend, but in the last year, it seemed too casual a word for what Gale is to me. A pang of longing shoots through my chest. If only he was with me now. But of course, I don't want that. I don't want him in the arena where he'd be dead in a few days. I just miss him and how I hate being so alone. Does he miss me? He must. I think of the 11 flashing under my name last night. I know exactly what he'd say to me. Well, there's some room for improvement there. And then he'd give me a smile and I'd return it without hesitating now. I can't help comparing what I have with Gale to what I'm pretending to have with PETA. How I never question Gale's motives while I do nothing but doubt the latter's. It's not a fair comparison, really. Gale and I were thrown together by a mutual need to survive. PETA and I know the other's survival means our own death. How do you sidestep that? Effie's knocking at the door to remind me there's another big, big, big day ahead. Tomorrow night will be our televised interviews. I guess the whole team will have their hands full readying us for that. I get up and take a quick shower, being a bit more careful about the buttons I hit, and head down to the dining room. PETA, Effie, and Haymitch are huddled around the table, talking in hushed voices. That seems odd, but hunger wins over curiosity, and I load my plate up with breakfast before I join them. The stew's made with tender chunks of lamb and dried plums today, perfect on the bed of wild rice. I shoveled about halfway through the mound when I realized that no one's talking. I take a big gulp of orange juice and wipe my mouth. So, what's going on? You're coaching us on interviews today, right? That's right, says Hamish. You don't have to wait until I'm done. I can listen and eat at the same time, I say. Well, there's been a change of plans about our current approach, says Hamish. What's that? I ask. I'm not sure what our current approach is. Trying to appear mediocre in front of the other tributes is the last bit of strategy I remember. Hamish shrugs. PETA is asked to be coached separately.
Mm. And that's the first time I feel like it's fair of Katniss to feel like, okay, now we really are enemies.
Yeah, but also she kind of pushed him to do that.
100%. You're so right.
like you and your downward spirals and telling him like he's trying to be your friend so many times and you're like, okay, cut the crap, like we're not actually friends.
Yeah.
Come on, what did you expect was going to happen?
Yeah. And then especially because I think the start of the next chapter, she says betrayal. I feel betrayal. And I'm like,
Girl,
how? You have been saying this from the get-go, and now you're finally on the same page as him and you're upset about it?
He's just giving you what you want.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Katniss.
Katniss. Chapter 9, we're actually starting with a book quote.
Oh, okay.
And like you said, the first word is betrayal.
Mm-hmm.
So, chapter 9, betrayal. That's the first thing I feel, which is ludicrous. For there to be betrayal, there would have had to been trust first between PETA and me. And trust has not been a part of this agreement. We're tributes, but the boy who risked a beating to give me the bread, the one who steadied me in the chariot, who covered for me with the red-headed Avox girl, who insisted Hamish know my hunting skills, was there some part of me that couldn't help trusting him? I just want to reach through the book and shake her.
Yeah, like, Katniss, come on.
Figure it out. You can do it. On the other hand, I'm relieved that we can stop the pretense of being friends. Obviously, whatever thin connection we'd foolishly formed had been severed by you.
Yeah.
It's not on PETA. Like, you can't just keep jabbing him and expect him to keep taking it.
Yeah, and then he finally leaves like you have wanted him to do. You're like, how could you do this to me?
I'm constantly pushing you away, and the moment you finally give in, I'm like, wait.
No, come back.
And high time too. The games begin in 2 days, and trust will only be a weakness. Whatever triggered PETA's decision, and I suspect it has to do with my outperforming him in training, I should be nothing but grateful for it. I don't think it was your 11, honey. Maybe he's finally accepted the fact that the sooner we openly acknowledge that we're enemies, the better. Good, I say, so what's the schedule? You'll have 4 hours with Effie for presentation and 4 with me for content, says Hamish. You start with Effie, Katniss. I can't imagine what Effie will have to teach me that could take 4 hours, but she's got me working down to the last minute. We go to my room and she puts me in a full-length gown and high-heeled shoes, not the ones I'll be wearing for the actual interview, and instructs me on walking. The shoes are the worst part. Katniss is having issues walking in the heels, which she's probably never worn heels a day in her life.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't imagine they have very many uses for those in District 12.
Heck, I can't even properly walk in heels.
No. And I have worn them in the past, just
Same.
not well.
Not well.
Yeah.
I'll take them off as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Even if that means walking barefoot down the street, I will do that.
Yes.
So she's having issues walking in the heels, but Effie is determined. She's also getting tangled up in the dress, and Effie yells at her for pulling her dress above her ankles.
Scandalous.
How scandalous. Eventually, she gets the hang of it and then works on her posture. When time is up, Effie announces that this is the best that she can do. Just remember, the goal is to get people to like her, which they won't if she just glares at them the whole time. Katniss points out that they aren't her friends, they're taking bets on her life. Effie snaps that she needs to pretend then, just like she is. She's smiling, even though she's very aggravated with Katniss. Later, it's time for her one on one with Haymitch, which starts off with him just frowning at her. He's trying to decide how to present her since she's been a star so far with volunteering to save her sister, Senna's outfits, and getting the top score. But no one knows who she is yet. And so that is what he's trying to decide on. How can he present her to get her sponsors? She asks what Peta's approach is. Quote, likable. He has a sort of self depreciating humor naturally, says Haymitch. Whereas when you open your mouth, you come across more as sullen and hostile. I do not, I say. Please, I don't know where you pull that cheery, wavy girl from the chariot from, but I haven't seen her before or since, says Haymitch. End quote. He points out that he isn't the one she has to please, it's the sponsors. Haymitch asks her questions, and Katniss tries to answer, but she's too angry with him and how unjust the Hunger Games are. Haymitch stops her. After 50 questions, she is still hostile and knows nothing about her. Katniss points out that she doesn't want them to know anything about her since they already have her future. They can't take her past too. Haymitch tells her to make something up. She isn't good at lying, but needs to learn fast. You'll love this. I love this quote from Haymitch. Quote, you've got about as much charm as a dead slug.
He really holds nothing back.
No. He suggests that she be humble. She can't believe anything here. The clothes, the nice people of the city. If she won't talk about herself, at least compliment them. After hours, Haymitch gives up and tells her to try to not let them know how much she despises them. Katniss eats dinner in her room. With all her anger built up, she smashes the dishes. The Avox, with the red hair, comes into the room. Even though Katniss tells her to leave, she gets a damp cloth and wipes her face and hands, cleaning the blood off of her. Quote, I should have tried to save you, I whisper. She shakes her head. Does this mean that we were right to stand by, that she's forgiven me? No, it was wrong, I say. She taps her lips with her finger and then points to my chest. I think it means that I would have ended up an Avox too. Probably would have. An Avox or dead. End quote. They both clean the room, and after, the Avox helps her to bed and tucks her in and leaves. In the morning, Katniss's team goes to work on cleaning her, painting her nails, and weaving red strands into her braids that wrap around her head and falls over her right shoulder. They put makeup on her and cover her body in a shimmering powder. Senna tells her to close her eyes, and he slips the dress over her. It has to be 40 pounds. Then steps into her shoes, which are at least 2 inches shorter than the ones that Effie had her practicing in. Senna tells her to open her eyes. Quote, my dress is entirely covered in reflective precious gems, red and yellow and white with bits of blue that accent the tips of the flame design. The slightest movement gives the impression that I'm engulfed in tongues of fire, end quote. She thanks Cinna and he asks her to twirl for him. She does, and her team screams in admiration. The team leaves, and Cinna asks her about the interview. She tells him her worries about being a hostile dead slug. And Cinna tells her that she is that way around Haymitch. She isn't like that around him or the prep team. She even won over the game makers, and the citizens can't stop talking about her. They all admire her spirit. He suggests that she answers the questions like she's talking to a friend back home. That would be Gail, but it wouldn't make sense since he already knows everything about her. He asks if she could see him, Cinna, as a friend. She thinks so. Cinna is by far her favorite person that she's met, and he hasn't disappointed her. Cinna tells her that he will be in the audience on the main platform. She'll be able to see him. Then she just needs to look at him and answer honestly, even if what she thinks is horrible. When it's time for them to go, she turns to Cinna in shock. He assures her that they love her already, she just needs to be herself. They meet up with Peta and Portia. Peta and Katniss look well together, but they don't have identical outfits this time. They also meet up with Haymitch and Effie and take an elevator to where the other tributes are and are lined up to the stage. Before they go on stage, Haymitch reminds the two of them that they are still a happy pair, so they need to act like it. Katniss is shocked. She thought that the plan was gone when Peta asked to be coached alone. But they are guided in a single file to their seats. Katniss is jittery and scared that she will trip and fall. Everyone in the country will be watching the interviews. It's hosted by Caesar Flickerman, who has hosted these interviews for over 40 years and, scarily enough, appears the same as ever. White makeup, same dyed hairstyle, although the color changes for each games, and then the same suit, midnight blue, dotted with 1,000 tiny electric bulbs that twinkle like stars. This year, his hair is powder blue, and his eyelids and lips match. In the capital, they undergo surgeries to look younger, but in District 12, looking old is such an achievement since so many die young. The District 1 tributes start. Her angle was so easy to figure out. Tall, green eyes and blonde hair, and is in a provocative see-through golden gown. The interview only lasts 3 minutes. A buzzer sounds, and it's on to the next tribute. Caesar does his best to make each shine, even the nervous ones. Everybody has an angle. The District 2 boy is a ruthless killer. District 5 girl, Foxface, is sly and elusive. Between tributes, Katniss is able to find Cinna in the crowd. There is also a crippled boy from District 10, and then it's Rue's turn, District 11. She is dressed in a delicate gown with wings, and she seems to flutter to Caesar. He asks what she did to earn a 7 in training. Quote, she doesn't hesitate. I'm very hard to catch, she says in a tremulous voice. And if they can't catch me, they can't kill me, so don't count me out.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't in a million years, end quote. Oh, Rue.
I know.
When that chapter comes, we are going to be crying on camera.
Probably. Because she's just so young. She's so innocent.
Young. So young. And yeah, we'll talk about it when it gets there because we're not even close to being there yet.
Nope.
And then it's Thresh's turn. He's about 6.5 feet tall and built like an ox. He rejected the invitation from the careers to join them. He is mostly by himself and shows little interest. Even still, he got a 10. He also only answers Caesar with a simple yes, no, or just silence. She would bet on him if she had any money. Katniss is up now and makes her way to the stage and shakes Caesar's hand. He asks what has impressed her the most being here, since it must be very different from being in District 12. It's like his words don't make any sense, though. She has to think about what came out of his mouth and then answers the lamb stew. Caesar and the audience laughs. Her next question is what she thought about her opening ceremony costume. Cinna raises an eyebrow and she responds, quote, you mean after I got over my fear of being burned alive? End quote. This got a big laugh from the audience, and it was a real one. She then figured that she could tell her friend Cinna this anyways, It was the most gorgeous thing that she had seen, and she couldn't believe that she was wearing it or even what she is currently wearing. The audience is making a noise of admiration, and Cinna makes small circular motions with his finger. He wants her to twirl for him. So she does, and Caesar tells her again, and she does, and then stops despite him telling her to continue because she is dizzy and giggling, which she doesn't even know if she's ever done that before. But, quote, Caesar wraps a protective arm around me. Don't worry, I've got you. Can't have you following in your mentor's footsteps. Everyone's hooting as the camera finds Hamish, who is by now famous for his head dive at the reaping, and he waves them away good naturedly and points back at me. It's all right, Caesar reassures the crowd. She's safe with me. So, how about that training score? 11. Give us a hint of what happened in there. I glance at the game makers on the balcony and bite my lip. All I can say is I think it was a first. The cameras are right on the game makers who are chuckling and nodding. You're killing us, says Caesar, as if in actual pain. Details, details. I address the balcony. I'm not supposed to talk about it, right? The game maker who fell in the punch bowl shouts, She's not. Thank you, I say. Sorry, my lips are sealed. Let's go back then to the moment that they called your sister's name at the reaping, says Caesar. His mood is quieter now. And you volunteered. Can you tell us about her? No, not all of you, but maybe Cinna. I don't think. I'm imagining the sadness on his face. Her name is Prim. She's just 12, and I love her more than anything. Katniss tells him that she swore that she would really try hard to win. Her time is up. Caesar wishes her luck, and she makes her way back to her seat and sees Cinna give her a thumbs up. Katniss is still in a daze for the first part of Peeta's interview, but he has the audience laughing immediately. Caesar asks if he has a girlfriend back home. When he says no, Caesar continues that he's handsome. There has to be someone.
Oh.
Peeta sighs. Well, there is this one girl I've had a crush on ever since I can remember. I'm pretty sure she didn't know I was alive until the reaping. Sounds of sympathy from the crowd. Unrequited love they can relate to. So, she have another fellow? Asks Caesar. I don't know, but a lot of boys like her, says Peeta. So here's what you do. You win. You go home. She can't turn you down then, eh? Says Caesar encouragingly. I don't think that's going to work out. Winning won't help in my case, says Peeta. Why ever not? Says Caesar, mystified. Peeta blushes, beet red, and stammers out, because she came here with me.
Oh.
End of part 1, guys.
I mean, what a way to end the chapter and part 1.
That was just such a. I remember reading that for the first time and being like, oh, there's no way. What do you mean?
Yeah. The first time I read it, in my mind, I was like, he's playing a game. He doesn't like her, because I didn't catch any of the build up to that. And
because
so
you were too focused on Katniss.
I was too focused on Katniss being like, he doesn't like me. I was like, yes, you're right, he doesn't. And now I'm like, oh, the poor boy.
It's so sad.
Yeah, it is sad.
Peeta, especially like when you really look back on like him talking her up or just knowing all the things about her.
Yeah, because they never really spoke to each other.
Never.
Yeah, and they both knew so much about one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They both paid attention to each other.
Yeah. Even when they didn't notice that they did that.
Yeah. Wow. What a way to end part 1.
I think I have several things from this chapter. The first one
Mm-hmm.
that I have from this chapter is when she's talking about all the people in the Capitol and how they get surgeries to look younger.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like dyeing their skin and all this. And to them, looking old is a bad thing.
Yeah.
And she's saying, well, District 12, looking old is an achievement.
Honor? Yeah.
Like that's an honor because we don't live to be old there.
Yeah.
And then same with being overweight, because that's like in the Capitol, like you have to be stick thin. And she said that's just the normal in District 12. If you're overweight,
you're rich.
Yeah.
Yeah. It 2 completely different worlds. Completely. Couldn't even be more opposite.
Yeah. And also, what a parallel to our world, because
I know.
all the like plastic surgeries, the weight loss drugs, all of this stuff. And meanwhile, there's people in our own country who have nothing.
Absolutely.
And so it's really crazy to like see all the parallels that are happening here and here. Yeah.
Yeah. Suzanne Collins does a great job.
She does.
She really does.
Yeah. We've already talked about Rue, so.
Oh, Rue.
I know. Oh, the other thing is Caesar. I love Caesar.
He's funny.
He is funny, and also he is trying to help them, because she says in the book, like, he really is trying to like sell us to make us look as good as we can.
And everybody too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just the careers, not just the ones that look pretty, but he does this equally for everyone.
Yeah.
And also, can we talk about the movie casting? I know we're not watching the movie yet, but Stanley Tucci as Caesar
They did a really good job.
That was a perfect movie casting.
I will say, just their casting in general, amazing.
Yeah.
Also, I know Sunrise on the Reaping hasn't come out yet, but their casting,
I don't even know who the cast is yet. So.
It's incredible. And I will tell you / show you how they revealed it to everybody, because that was fun.
I'm sad that I missed
really
it.
Good. Oh, it was so good. But don't you worry, I will show you the way that they showed us.
Okay.
So you'll get the experience. You just won't have the wait between the experience.
Oh, perfect. I'm not a very patient person. So. A couple more things about when they're in not the arena, but when they're training with the private people.
Oh, the private sessions?
Yeah, I can't believe they were so dismissive of Katniss, not even when she was just in the room, but even after she shot the pig. I feel like to give her a score of an 11 when that's such a rebellious act, they had to just think, even though she just did that, they had to be thinking, there's no way this girl from 12 is going to win this thing. It doesn't matter what score we give her, because if they knew how it was going to end, they would have never done that.
See, I could see that score of like 2 ways, kind of like what they touched on that. Like an 11 being, wow, we're so impressed by you. Or was it we want to give you the highest score, so you're the first target?
Oh, that's a really good point. Yeah.
And because we're only in Katniss's perspective, we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what the reason behind that 11 was.
Yeah. That's a really good point. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. They definitely, the Capitol plays their own game. Like the game makers play their own games. Yeah. They do what they want.
That's true. Yeah. Maybe they did see her as a bigger threat.
Like, okay, bye-bye.
And they're like, okay, well, how can we hurt her?
Yeah.
While not making it look like that. Yeah.
Because now, like, she scored higher than all the careers.
True.
They're going to be livid about that. They're like, how did this scrawny little girl from District 12 of all districts beat all of us?
That's so true. They did just put a massive target on her back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in my eyes, I would want to take out the biggest threat first.
Yeah.
So I'm sure their first thought was, we have to go and hunt her down. I could see it.
Most definitely.
I could see it.
Yeah. That probably makes more sense than what I was thinking.
Unless it's a stupid game maker that year and they're like, you know what? That was actually really impressive. She
Yeah.
deserves that 11.
Yeah. I guess I just don't picture them being that nice. So maybe not. I feel like your interpretation is more likely.
It's hard because the movie gives us their interpretation of it. I
Yeah.
don't know if Suzanne Collins was consulted in any of the other sides or not. But like the game maker was like, yeah, she earned it.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know about that. I'm not sold on that.
I'm not either. But I did like in the movie that we saw
Other sides to it.
yes, yeah. That was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We don't have Katniss as our unreliable narrator.
Yeah. So my last thing with this is the first, like reading it now, I'm kind of questioning because Caesar said that, or they said that Caesar had been doing this role for the past like 40 years.
Yes.
Is maybe the people in the Capitol are just as stuck as everybody else. And like, is the government making them do the things as well? Are they actually this bubbly, or is that
Are they being
forced
forced in
upon
the
them?
roles?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. How much is them being brainwashed? How much of them is being forced?
Mm-hmm.
Is this just who they are?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. I wish we got more of the Capitol.
yeah,
I want a
just
different point of view.
understanding. Yeah. Just understanding more of how they think.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, we kind of get that in Sogburns and Snakes, but not really of what you were just touching on just now. We don't
Mm-hmm.
really get that
Okay.
perspective, at
Yeah.
least.
That would be interesting. I guess I really just want to know how much control the government really has. Is it
Yeah.
full control? Are they controlling everything, every
Mhm.
district, the capital? Or do they really only care to be that controlling
Right.
with the districts? I don't know.
That is a good point. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish I knew more. Even like coming from my knowledge of the other books,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Suzanne, tell us. We would love to know.
Tell us more. Tell me everything about this world, please.
Yes.
I will read it all. If you put anything out there, I will read it.
Well, now I will too.
Yeah. We will get there. I'm so excited for us to keep just going through this journey.
I know. It's going to be a long journey, but
It
a
will
fun
be.
one.
Especially getting to the new stuff too, which for you isn't going to take long. It's literally after the 2 books.
Everything is new.
Everything is new.
And these have been so long ago, they're basically new too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when it's been that long, it's like you can't. I don't remember details of a book that I read back in middle school. Maybe like the very general overview, but that's it.
Yeah. All the details I remember are because they were in the movie.
That is fair.
Yeah.
That is fair. And to my memory, they do stay pretty true to the book as far as like movie book adaptations. Of course, things have to get cut out and things have to change for it to make sense in the movie, but
Right.
for the most part, it's
Good
pretty
job.
good. They did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Well, part 1 is done.
Yay.
Yay. 2 episodes in, which is so weird because this would have taken like 2 months if we were going off a Twilight schedule.
Oh, I like this schedule. Every
I do
episode
too.
is packed with stuff, but
It is so packed. And we actually get places, not just focusing on one singular chapter.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, thanks so much for hanging out with us for another close to 2-hour episode. Make sure that you're following all of our social media links. They are down below for you. And I hope that you are enjoying our talks on the Hunger Games. It's been fun to just dive into them.
Many more to come.
Many more to come. I'm so excited.
Oh, me too.
And that is it for this week. We'll see you on Wednesday for who knows what. And then again next week for more Hunger Games.
Woo!
Bye.